Live from 10 Pin Alley in Wilmington, North Carolina. PBA Wilmington Open continues exclusively on FloBowling. And we're inside 10 Pin Alley. Jeff Goodger with Phil Brylow. And Phil, it's Cashers Round.
It's Cashers Round, and I'm jokingly calling this C Squad. What are we going to see out there today after 75% of the players in this squad advanced from B Squad yesterday? Lots of player chatter, lots of internet chatter. The only thing that matters right now, though, is who's going to be our top 16 after these 4 games bowled. They're all in the same squad now. No more complaining. Get out there, throw good shots, and see what you can do to advance.
And yes, 4 games cut to top 16, and then 3 games cut to the top 8, and then just 2 more games to get to that top 4 for the step ladder. And a lot of cuts means a lot of excitement.
Yeah, especially as closely bunched as this field still is. Sure, there's a lot of players off of one squad, but those players in the lower half of the field, they're only less than 50 pins behind the guys in 16th, 15th, 14th, so there's still a lot of chance for movement here during that Cashers Round.
And they are finishing practice, and we're going to watch them finish practice, because after that we get to watch them bowl for score. Opening coverage in the flow zone with defending champion Cristian Azcona, bowling with William Svennson and Chris Barnes. They are Azcona in 16th, Barnes in 17th, and Svennson in 18th. So right now the cut is on this pair.
Yeah, Svennson with a really up and down round yesterday. Comes out of the gates, 289, 280, and gradually falls down games 4 and 5, 169, 170, and then brings it back up. 247 in game 6, 259 in game 8 for Svennson of the William variety to get into that number 18 spot. Azcona, one of several players to throw a perfect game yesterday. That's kind of a little downhill towards the end of the round, as he finished with 211, 178 to fall out of the top six. Pardon me, to fall into 16th place. Ostrander Anderson, your leader after yesterday's qualifying, averaged just a paltry 254 and a quarter to get to that number, plus 434. Second place, BJ Moore, plus 394. Brad Miller in third. Miller, the author of back-to-back 300 games yesterday, to get to that number. Wes Malott fourth at plus 300. Bill O'Neill plus 297. Jones, Rash, Kruml, Johnson of the AJ variety, and Chapman of the AJ variety round out your top 10. So players like Osku, Palermaa, Josh Blanchard, Dom Barrett going to need to get solid blocks together just to advance in the top 16. There's still room for players like those three to get into the top 4, but it's going to take huge blocks to do that, and there's not a lot of games left. Obviously 4 games in this block, 3 games in the round of 16, 2 games in the round of 8. Well, here's a surprise. Yeah, we just found out outside of flow zone coverage, Wes Malott nagging leg injury has forced Wes to withdraw out of Casher's round this morning, so he'll take a check, but he was in 4th place coming into this round, and you know, being that high up in the standings, that decision not taken lightly by Malott. So Malott's going to walk out of here 32nd place check. And if you had Wes Malott on your trifecta ticket this week, unfortunately that ticket now null and void. Well, apparently the C squad shot is out, as there are several players that have strings of strikes beginning of the game. E.J. Tackett, front 5. Andres Gomez, front 6. William Svennson, front 5. Kyle Sherman, front 5. A.J. Chapman, front 5. So we'll keep you updated as to all the various strings of strikes going on across the 24 lanes in play here at 10 Pin Alley. As you see Nick Pate convert the 1-5. They're not easy, folks. You make that errant shot on this 39-foot chameleon pattern, it's going to stay to the right and not recover. Tackett, his string ends with a split. Not too often you see the 1-5 shot out here on the PBA Tour. Sherman ends his string with an open frame on the missed 4-pin. And let's get Gomez on the front 7. Svennson front 6 now. All right, so we have 5 bowlers on at least the front 7. We've got Gomez and Svennson in our sights. AJ Chapman, front 7. I can see from the Flow Zone booth, there's 2 players. Sean Rash, AJ Johnson, both front 7. Make it front 8 for Rash. Yeah, the C squad shot's out. Wow, and Barnes is going to take a terrible break there on the 7-10. Looking down the end, Barrett can shoot 280. Josh Blanchard can shoot 269. Osku Palermaa can shoot 279. Gomez, front 9. You can shoot 240 this game and lose pace to the field. Coming out of the gates. Of course, these players have to move pairs. And of course, we know it's never an easy thing to move to where other players came from and make that educated guess on where to start playing that next pair of lanes. Something tells me, though, it's going to be, if you're going to have your miss room, miss left, or there seems to be a little extra hold this morning. Don't really want to try to miss to the right and have it come back. How about this for Barnes? Come on. Got it halfway there. EJ Tackett just left the pocket 7-8 on lane 18. Svennson will be stepping up looking for his front 8 over on 13 and 14. Here he is. I'm wondering if they're going to mail Chris Prather a check for his part of the 300 part. That seems to be rapidly decreasing from where he was at yesterday when he left on A squad. Owners here putting up $1,000 in the 300 game pot to be split by all players that have thrown 300. Of course, Brad Miller getting multiple shares for having 2 300s yesterday. No doubter for EJ on that cover. The everyday pocket 7-8. Rash and AJ Johnson both on the front 9. AJ Chapman front 9. Andres Gomez front 10. That'd be awesome if we had 5 300s all in the same game. Chris Prather would just be mailing me my $8 left in that 300 game, kitty, and I'll see you in Delaware. I can't remember the last time we had this many front 9s. Even on a pattern like Cheetah. It's a beautiful sight for first thing in Wilmington. This is better in the sunrise over the Atlantic Ocean here in Wilmington, North Carolina. If anybody actually believes I was up early enough to watch the sunrise. Gomez for number 11. Slices through. 9 pin is left. And Chris Prather holds on to another $2.50 in the 300 game, kitty. All right, it's not that low. But we got Prather, we got Miller with 2 shares. We got Azcona. Chris Polizzi, who missed the cut, also has a share of the 300 game pool. So that's about $180 a share right now. Of course, it's going to go down rapidly. And Svennson ends his streak with a 10 pin. So Svennson got through the front 8. That's Svennson of the Jesper variety, not Jesper variety, of the William variety. Rash has got, I believe, the first 2 in the 10th. AJ Chapman, 9 count in the 11th shot, so he'll fall a little short. But the scoring pace here in Wilmington, Delaware is running hotter than the air temperature outside. And game 2 of this Cashers round rolls on after player movement, PBA Wilmington Open, exclusively from start to finish on FloBowling.
Game 2 from Wilmington. Marshall Kent, A.J. Chapman, J.R. Raymond. Chapman was one of the many players with the front most in Game 1. And have some highlights from that Game 1. Not from Chapman, though. As I said, he had the front most.
Yeah, Chapman finished with 289. But a couple of players that got the job done here, and wow, apparently Sean Rash throwing a little quick there.
He's in quite a hurry.
He was in quite a hurry. Saw his first one. Express mode. Second one there. Trust us, 10-pin went down on that shot, as you see by Sean's reaction.
Sean doesn't care about scores.
No, Sean, scoring is just relative. He just wants to throw a bowling ball and hear it make loud noises. There you see Rash's 300. Let's get now to his lane mate, A.J. Johnson, trying to follow the magic of Rash. Because I've had some rashes caused by magic, but never the magic of Rash. A.J. Johnson, front 2 in the 10th. Let's make it all 3 here. The quiet confidence of Johnson into the last shot. Right on target line. 6 does the job in the 10, and perfection. Back to back for Rash and Johnson. Have your 9-game scoring update coming across the wire shortly. All the big numbers they have to add up. They want to make sure they double check those before making everything official. And we have a new leader here in Wilmington. BJ Moore rides a 249 game to the top of the leaderboard, plus 443. Andrew Anderson remains in second at plus 440, but Rash and Johnson move up to third and fourth respectively on their perfect games. Rash plus 384, Johnson plus 366. Brad Miller's 232, just enough to keep him in fifth at plus 356. A.J. Chapman sixth. Chapman's 289 gets his total to plus 353. A-squad leader Bill O'Neill finds himself at seventh. 237 opening game for O'Neill gets him to plus 334. Marshall Kent, 276 opening game, gets Kent up to plus 333. Svennson of the William variety in ninth. 278 game for Svennson. Puts him at plus 292. Kyle Sherman 10th, plus 277 after an opening 235 game. Andres Gomez gets himself into the top 16 with his 289 start you saw here in the flow zone. Gomez tied with Christopher Sloan at plus 268. The number right now is that man walking off of lane 15, Zach Williams, at plus 240. Our defending champion falls out of the top 16. His 217 start for Azcona drops him 2 pins outside the number. But just to show you big moves early by a couple players that were near the bottom of the leaderboard coming into this round. Josh Blanchard moves from 31st to 24th with a 269 game to get to plus 224. Don Barrett, who was 32nd, shoots 280, moves up into 19th. So a player taking a big hit on the leaderboard is Tommy Jones. Jones opens up with 160. Jones, one of just 2 players under 200 that opening game. The other being Andrew Suscreba, who started with 162. Jones falls all the way down to 15th with that 160 start after being in 5th position coming into this round. There's something you don't see very often in lane 14, a right-hander using a resin ball, chopping the 4 off the 7. And that's a bad break there for J.R. Raymond. Nobody going for perfection this game. However, still some big games being thrown. Anderson Suscreba bouncing back from that 162 opening game. He's got a chance to shoot 277. Zeke Bayt on this pair can shoot 290. Tom Daugherty a chance for 266 as Daugherty's going into the 10th frame. Marshall Kent can shoot another game in the 270s. As Kent's entering his 8th frame. Tackett can shoot 247 with 10 strikes and 2 opens. Because that's the popular way to shoot 247. So scores remaining high here on this chameleon pattern. PBA Wilmington Open Cashers round reaching the halfway point. 2 games down, 2 to go. Player movement. New faces coming in the flow zone next. Your Wilmington Open update after 10 games. 8 games qualifying yesterday, 2 games in the Cashers round this morning. BJ Moore is still your leader, plus 507. Andrew Anderson in second at plus 451. Brad Miller third, plus 435. AJ Johnson fourth, plus 400. Marshall Kent fifth, plus 399. O'Neill, Rash, Chapman, Sherman, and Jones round out your top 10. Right now, your cut number, Zeke Bayt in 16th position. Bayt with his 253 in game 2. Rebounds into the top 16 at plus 289. It's just a single pin advantage over Bayt over Davidson. 8 pins over Kruml. 19 pins over Blanchard. 21 pins over Tackett. Players that look like they might be going home a little early today from this event in Wilmington include Chris Barnes at plus 221. He's going to need a couple of big games. He's only 6 over on the day. Osku Palermaa, 15 over on the day, plus 182. Mike Coffey, 7 over on the day, plus 180. Nick Pate, 4 under on the day, plus 172 for Pate. Looks like they may be early exits for those players from here in Wilmington. BJ Moore, 113 over on the day for his first 2 games. Came out of the gates 249, followed up with 264 to jump into the lead. Your high set on the morning to this point comes out by by Don Barrett. Is Don Barrett 280, 266 for Barrett to come out firing at 546, and Barrett's gone from 32nd to 13th place in 2 games. We mentioned he was going to need a huge set to get in contention for the stepladder. At this rate, Barrett can find himself in a stepladder position by the time he gets out of this opening cashers round on the day. Then the trick's going to be, once you're in there, staying in there. Marshall Kent, 142 over on the day. AJ Johnson, 134 over on the day. Johnson with the beneficiary of the 300 game in game 1 of this cashers block, same as Sean Rash. Josh Blanchard, 115 over. BJ Moore, 113 over. And Brad Miller, 111 over. Your big blocks so far this morning. Well, E.J. Tackett trying to make a run back up into the top 16. Tackett finished with the last 10 last game for 247. And he started with the front 6 of this game outside of flow zone coverage, but we'll keep you updated on Tackett's progression back towards the top 16. Tommy Jones, after an opening 160 game, bounced back with 255 in game 2, can shoot 257 here in game 3. Bill O'Neill, the first on A squad, 6th overall coming into today. Number 1 in many fans' hearts after his win last week in Chesapeake. Looking to make it back-to-back weeks. Actually be the same week with the title. Kicked off the calendar week on Sunday with the win in Chesapeake. Could have another title 4 days later here in Wilmington. Single game remaining here in PBA Wilmington Open for Cash's round. Keep you updated on the progress. VJ Tackett as he's chasing 300. And we'll bring you that scoring update after 11 games once this 3rd game. Cash's round is complete. Well, E.J. Tackett missed out on perfection. Got to the 8th frame with the front 8. Didn't get it in the 9th. However, Stu Williams did get through the 8th frame. And Stu got through the 9th frame. So right now, Williams, who's sitting in 23rd at plus 246, looking to get that big jump into the top 16. Looking for perfection. We'll let you know how Stu finishes up when we start game 4. So a little excitement. We mentioned Stu Williams on the front 9. In game 3. And he stepped up in the 10th frame with his chance. Take another chunk out of the $1,000 perfect game pot. Put up here by the owners at 10 Pin Alley. And there you see the first 2 in the 10th for Stu. The quiet fist pump. Puts it on line, floats it out, and the 10 doesn't go down. And Stu loses out on his share of about $125 thanks to that 10 pin. And of course the $25 food and beverage certificate for each 300 game. Thanks to 10 Pin Alley. So I want to thank Jim and Margaret Gragos for all their help with hosting this Wilmington Open this week. Here's your update, 11 games, 8 games qualifying yesterday, 3 games of Cashier's Round this morning. BJ Moore is still your leader, plus 542. Andrew Anderson second, plus 487. Brad Miller in the third at plus 459. Bill O'Neill fourth, plus 447. Marshall Kent up in the fifth at plus 426. Kyle Sherman sixth at plus 394. Sean Rash seventh, plus 375. AJ Johnson eighth, plus 373. Tommy Jones has recovered nicely since his opening 160 game. Jones back up in the ninth at plus 346. Stu Williams, thanks to that 299, has Stu in the 10th at plus 345. Right now your cut number, Andres Gomez, plus 306. And how some of the players have fallen this morning. J.R. Raymond falls all the way down to 25th, plus 248 for Raymond. He's 15 under on the block. Chris Barnes only 25 over on the block, has Barnes a plus 240. Nick Pate only 29 over on the block, has Pate a plus 205. And that's just a few of the players that will not be seeing round of 16 action coming up. 11:30 a.m. Eastern time, your scheduled start time for that round of 16. EJ Tackett currently 13th at plus 325. Tackett 132 over on the morning. And Stu, solid head pin for Stu. He had an issue on that lane earlier. He started this game with a gutter ball in the first frame, so definitely some hang on that right lane, lane 14 for Williams when the miss is out. Gomez can't afford to not place doubles on the board at this point in time in the event. Gomez 127 over on the day. Get the plus 306. So we'll have our mystery roving reporter try to chase down the cut number for you as these players finish, not like 32 players finishing at the same time and trying to figure out who our top 16 are going to be, especially as tight as this field is right now, because Tom Daugherty's just 7 outside the number. Svennson of the William variety, just 11 out. Zeke Bayt, 18 out. Zach Wilkins, 21 out. Michael Davidson, 32 out. Blanchard, 33 out. So still some players with realistic chances to get past Gomez. Of course, Gomez is only 10 pins behind Barrett in 15th. Barrett only 8 behind Kruml in 14th. Kruml just a single stick behind Tackett in 13th. And AJ Chapman, who made the step ladder last week in Chesapeake, Chapman's just 25 pins up on the cut number itself. So there's still lots of room for movement. And you see, unfortunately for Daugherty, you see that urethane right there makes its move back to the pocket and then just ends up running a dynamic friction, I guess you could call it. And the end-over-end movement started. The ball failed to make its way all the way complete in the pocket. And Barrett with 3 in a row after open and 2 spares to start this game. Once again, Barrett just 10 pins up on the cut number coming into this game. See Ostrander coming into your picture. Ostrander would need a humongous game to try to get in, as he's currently 50 pins outside the number. Blanchard 33 down on the number coming into this game, and gets a second effort on that 10 pin. Blanchard can still shoot 235, but on this scoring pace, 235 is not enough, one would think, to make up a 33-pin deficit on the number. Even with punching out, Blanchard most likely looking at being done in this event. Never say die for Blanchard, though. You never know what may happen. We thought last night in the 8th game of B squad qualifying the cut was going to go much higher than it actually ended up. Blanchard snuck in by a pin, avoided the roll-off between Barrett and Connor Pickford last night. And something tells me that cut's not going to be going anything but up in this final game. Barrett's still 254 opportunity. Almost the 7-9 for Gomez. First double of the game for the man on the number. Here you see our leader, BJ Moore, plugging along this game. Moore, 3 strikes, 2 spares, and an open at this point. Those strikes not in consecutive fashion. So our leader currently pacing in the 180s. And Brad Miller on that same pair, spare 5-bagger for Miller. But Miller almost 90 pins behind BJ Moore coming into this game. EJ Tackett looking to stay in the top 16 on this pair with Daugherty and Williams. And Daugherty starting to run out of real estate as first man out right now. Huge shot coming up for Gomez. Wow, that is a 2-4-5-10. Jeff Beasley just left on lane 15. You do not see that very often, anywhere. Great toss there by Gomez to keep Daugherty in the rearview mirror temporarily. Checking the PBA Tour statistics, Jeff Beasley, first time attempting the 2-4-5 and 10 here in 2019. Lots of ways to make this, and doesn't quite get enough of the 2 or 5 to get over for the spare conversion. Barrett looking to lock his way in with that first strike in the 10th, and he should do so, as he's in the 230s with good count on his next 2 balls. Brad Miller making a big run there. You see him inching into your picture on lane 21. That's a 7-bagger after a spare to start with. And Blanchard, his participation in his event, and probably most likely his lack of rankings in the PBA Power Rankings, will continue. Cristian Azcona is struggling this game, our defending champion, only 28 pins up on the cut. He can max for 214, but that's getting the last 4 strikes in the 9th and 10th. Azcona could fall back out. Nick Kruml sitting at 146 in the 7th, so Kruml pacing 2-0. Kruml could be in trouble, as Kruml was only 18 pins up on the number. Getting into this game. Stu Williams, though, lock him in for competition in the round of 16. With another strike here in the 9th frame. There it is. We'll see Stu this afternoon. We'll see Dom this afternoon. 254 on the board for Barrett with the back 9. Brad Miller's going to be stepping up in the 10th frame looking for 290. Good news here for Tackett is if he gets the first one in the 10th, he's going to put Azcona behind him in the standings. There it is. Still 237 max for Tackett. That'll keep Kruml behind Tackett as well. We should see Tackett in the round of 16 at this pacing. Gomez, he'll be in the 230s. Gomez keeps Daugherty behind him. Daugherty, huge shot coming up for Daugherty. First ball of the 10th, he can go out for 226, and not going to let it go on that shot. BJ Moore, 181 finish, not what he was looking for. That will keep Moore in the lead. Anderson can't get by. Anderson can shoot 226. Brad Miller could get by, though. If Miller can shoot 290, Brad Miller could be our leader going into the round of 16. Always got to love when bowlers finally figure it out on one lane that puzzles them for the entire game before that. Zach Wilkins, who was on the outside of the cut number by 21 pins. Wilkins stepping up in the 10th frame outside of flow zone coverage. Wilkins can shoot 268. And Michael Davidson shot 276 to get the plus 350, if that report is correct. We'll see Tackett in the round of 16. So Brad Miller by a single pin, unofficially is our leader going into round of 16 coverage. Oh, Davidson did not shoot 276 yet. He's stepping up in the 10th frame with the opportunity to shoot 276. So glad we got that clarified. And with the action finishing up here, it'll be a couple of minutes before scores are official and we know our official top 16. One thing we can tell you for sure, though, is that round of 16 will be bowling at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time. And most likely Tom Daugherty will not be seeing any further action in this event. Join myself, join Jeff Goodger, join Dave Lamont in that round of 16 coverage. Coming up shortly here from Tempe Alley in Wilmington, North Carolina. And the PBA Wilmington Open will roll on at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time.